Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to install the Studboy Pro Series backers. These backers work really good for stopping and acceleration, I've noticed. Especially on like hard packed snow, you really do notice a difference with these. So this will be my second year running them. I love the performance you get out of them. They are harder to install than a regular stud. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Couple things you will need is obviously the backers, studs, coring tool. You can get this on like Studboy's website. That's to drill out the holes for the studs. Don't use a drill bit. You don't necessarily need a template, but I recommend using one. It makes it 1,000 times easier. Make sure you get the right template for the, your application. This is a 2.52 pitch track, so I'm using a 2.52 pitch. Excuse me. Template. This is the Woody's template. The other one is a Studboy template. This is for a 2.86 track, and the Studboy one is for a 2.52. When it comes to that, I actually really do recommend that you get the Studboy one. I am sponsored by them, but this is a lot sturdier, and I hate messing around with that paper one. Not that it doesn't get the job done, but you know what I mean. So first thing you want to do is grab your paint marker and your template and figure out a design that you want to use for your studding. So like over here, this has a ton of studs in it, so you can kind of see that it changes as you go along, and then it repeats itself again. So boom boom boom, boom boom boom, and it keeps on doing that all the way around. If this is the first time you're doing it, I recommend you go online and look at some other designs that people have done in the past. This Woody's template actually has a few different designs on it. As you can see, it gives you the track links too, which is nice. Don't judge the Crocs and socks. So yeah, figure out your design, punch out or mark. Like on this one, I marked the holes with a Sharpie. On ones I had to drill out. And then just be careful as you're spinning the track to make sure you don't overlap or anything like that, because then your whole thing's gonna be messed up and it sucks going through and removing a bunch of paint marks. But otherwise, after you're done with that, you're gonna wanna find a way to get the track off the ground if it's not uninstalled. Because you're gonna wanna rotate the track and mark, and just mark everything right away, and then go back through again with your coring tool and then drill them all out at the same time. Because with that coring tool, it actually doesn't work the best when you first start drilling. It's not dull or anything like that, it just needs to get hot. So when you have more heat in it, and you can keep the heat in it, it goes a lot faster and a lot smoother, and you're gonna have a lot cleaner cuts for your core outs or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, another thing you need for these Pro Light backers too is some warm soapy water. Not soupy. So I just grabbed like an ice cream bucket, fill it up. I use laundry detergent actually, and warm water. Don't use hot water because it'll kind of, make the plastic a little more malleable, I guess, and it can strip out easier. But I use laundry detergent because if you actually put some in your hand, it's like a lubricant almost, and it's like you can get it real thin and it still holds that value. Whereas with like dish soap, it seems to lose that quite a bit as you like put it in water and dilute it. You'll notice right away when you put the laundry detergent in there that the water actually feels, excuse me again, lubricated. So I'm gonna mark all these. Might do a little bit of a video of me doing that, but I'll cut it off shortly. Okay, so one other quick tip. unless you're racing, I highly advise against studding the outside of the track. So this is my terrain track. Even though I do race, even with my terrain track, I'm only going to stud the inside unless there's a race where you're going to be partially on a lake or something like that where you're constantly on ice. Another thing is you want to put your studs as close to the rails as possible, because that's where the most pressure is going to be, and that's where you'll get the most performance out of your studs. In the middle, it's more flimsy, you know, and it'll bend in. The number one mistake I see people do with studding is they overstud their tracks. Now you only need, for trail riding, you only need a 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of poke. You don't need to go beyond that for anything. There's no reason to it. And then also, even with an 800, last year I had a 800 E-Tech. I only ran 84 studs down the middle. You don't need a ton of studs. I didn't have any pullouts or anything like that on a single ply track. The old saying with stud per horsepower, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, to each their own, but to me, you're wasting your time and your money if you put a ton of studs in your track. So if you're just trail riding, I recommend 2 per row or 3 at max. You don't need to go beyond 3 per clip. Okay, so all you do, I got this marked out. I am doing 3 per row. Throw it on there. Where's my marker? And all you do, a little dab will do you. And you don't need to be perfect with this. The more random it is, the better actually you'll get more scratch lines out of it. So boom, 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 oh. Boom, 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 boom. So that's kind of what it should look like after you're done. And you're just going to keep on rotating the track and going through and doing all of them. Nice thing that I like to do when I'm doing this is I'll just count, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as I'm doing it, just to make sure that I didn't miss one. Double checking your work now is a lot easier than when you start drilling and then you realize that you missed something or anything like that. So I'm gonna pump a few of these out, record for a little bit of me doing that, and then I'm gonna shut the video off and I'll get back to you when I'm done with that. Seeing like right here, you see that I hit the where they mold the track together or something like that. I don't know how tracks are made. So I'll just go through and put a little bit more on there just so I don't miss it when I'm drilling it out. Okay guys, finished making all the marks. Now it's time to grab your corn tool. When you're drilling, a couple things you want to look out for is that you don't drill into anything under here. So bogey wheels especially is a common thing that people do. So make sure that you're in the middle here between all the crap that you can wreck. And all you want to do is line it up, put pressure down and drill like you normally would. And then when you get it going, it's nice to have another guy with you if you can to rotate the track for you, because the hotter this is, the better it's going to work, and you just want to get them all done at the same time. That's why we got it off the ground, and that's how we're going to do things here. So I'll show you how to do a couple of them, and then the first one is always the worst, so. Oop. So anyways, here it is right here. This is a new day, obviously. So you're gonna want some warm water, and I use some kind of a soap. I use laundry detergent. And all you gotta do is put your backers in there so that they kind of warm up and expand, and then it'll thread in a lot easier. The reason why I use laundry detergent is because it seems to be a little more lubricity to it, if that makes sense. And then you're gonna want an impact for sure with these. I could not imagine doing this with a ratchet or anything like that. Takes a T30 to screw them in. If you're doing singles, you're gonna need a stud boy's tool, which I have no idea where I put. Oh, right here. I taped mine up because otherwise this handle slides back and forth. I also sanded off right here because there's some sharp burrs on it. I didn't want to cut myself. Otherwise I'll throw a few in, just so you can see me punching those in, and then I'll come back once I start screwing those in and explain in more depth with that. Oh, also, when you are screwing stuff in and it's in the sled, don't be afraid to take bogey wheels out or like crossbars, anything to make it easier and give you more room for your impact when you're screwing in those studs into the backers. It'll help a lot. All right, let's get after it. Oh yeah, and I'm also using doubles too. Okay guys, we got one pack in, so I'll move on to showing you how to install these. So we got our backers. For the doubles, you don't need that tool. All you gotta do is start the one, but don't suck it down all the way, and then start the other one. And then you can normally finish that one up and then go back to the other one and finish that. Then when putting these on, you want to have it so that when you're looking at the back of the sled, you can read stud boy. So track direction is right there. You want them on there like that. Stud boy to the back and super light to the front. All right. So the main thing with these is you don't want to over torque them because it's more than easy to do. If you have a quiet track, like on this one right here, this is what makes it a quiet track, or these are the ribs. You can see on this track it doesn't have them. You're gonna want to cut those off somehow. I don't really know a good way of doing it, but I don't know. I know the guys have used those like little oscillating saws and stuff like that to cut them off, but as far as what the best way to do that is, I don't know. So I'll show you me doing a couple of these. When doing the singles, you just put your tool on there like this, bam, and it's easy as that. This one doesn't really have a direction sides from. You want these two little side cutters facing out, so it'd go on there like this. Oh, I'll show you it better once I get there. Okay, so I got 2 installed. This is how this one should look. That is how the single should look. And then on the back, you just want to make sure that they're flush. Again, don't go crazy with these. I mean, they are plastic at the end of the day. They do hold a lot of pressure. I'm not dissing them, but they are plastic. They can strip out. So I'm gonna do a couple more for you guys, and then I'm just gonna go to town and I'll come back when I'm done. If there's anything else that I can think of for tips and tricks when I'm doing this, I'll let you know at the end of the video. Otherwise, it's pretty simple. Once you do a few, I mean, you'll get the hang of it. Hardest thing about it is just learning when to stop torquing them down. And it's more of a visual thing too, so. Yep. Oh, when you are pushing these studs in, this one was pretty easy to push the studs in, but sometimes with some tracks it's harder. When you do have the soapy water out, you can kind of cheat and dip the stud in there, and it makes it a lot easier to push in. Okay guys, end up finishing it up. You can see the red and the black. Looks really good. Excited to see it on the sled. Otherwise, it went together really nice. No problems with the stud in. Halfway through, I did replace the water because it was starting to get cold. Wanted to have some nice warm water on there for to help the plastic expand. Yeah, otherwise, I got stickers made. So if anybody wants a sticker, a couple different colors. We got black, red and white. Those are the 2 main colors. Otherwise, I have some like low quantities of that, and then I have some low quantities of the orange right here. So yeah. If you want one, send me a DM. I don't have them listed on any website. $7 a piece. I don't know. Free shipping. Anywhere in the US. Never shipped outside the US, so don't ask. That does it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.